Welcome, Virgo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a new moon in Libra reading for you. On the 21st of October, the new moon in late degrees, very late degrees of Libra, is followed the next day by the sun entering Scorpio and Neptune re-entering Pisces in retrograde. So I do feel like this water energy is a powerful culmination and inviting us into an emotional state of power, of connection, of joy that we have been struggling to find for a while. I did pull an oracle card from the Talisman Oracle for you, and it reads, Let Go. And there's a crab on the cover, and there are two flowers, one in front and one behind. It looks like the one behind is being held on to, and the one in front is perhaps the really sort of infused with a very gentle pink color as something desirable. So reading from the guidebook, let go, just like running water. Everything keeps constantly changing. You've been holding on to a burden that's been slowing you down. Sometimes we know what it is, other times we need to examine our needs and behavior. Often holding on comes from a need to control our life and surroundings. It's a great comfort that we can direct the circumstances and avoid a painful path. But if we let go of the illusion of control, we can find peace and enjoy the ride. Being vulnerable offers an opportunity for connection and closure. The little crab has to learn to let things go. The flower in front is a delicate gift from nature to bring joy. The burden is too heavy, and your tiny claws are clutching with tremendous effort. I release this energy is your mantra. And for the overall energy, I have the Queen of Swords, and this is your well-known sharp wit, intellect, use of words, language, presentation to communicate. Your ability in this case is to mediate between a variety of parties, perhaps as a teacher, an advisor, a counselor, even as a friend. The ability to ask good questions and to listen to the responses that you receive, not needing to be right or to prioritize or privilege your ideas over the ideas that others are sharing with you. But this is more about valuing their experiencing, being heard. The Page of Swords underneath the deck is focusing on the ways in which your own expectations of life, relationship, success have been challenged, have been overturned, and the ways in which you are newly curious about other options, other ways to do things, alternatives to the path that you're on, or perhaps alternative methods to enhance your achievement. In the present, we have the High Priestess. This is a card that has come up for you a bit lately, and what is coming up for me is the planet Mercury. The twos refer to reflection, reflecting throughout time on the knowledge gained through experience and the wisdom that you have internalized, and keep very much to yourself as a crucible of your own self-knowledge, talents, skills, and abilities. I feel a reclamation of some kind of cultural space for you, so that you are reconnecting with traditions of your profession, your success, your work, or your effort in a way that puts you among the ancestors. And that obviously is going to mean many different things to all of you. But I do feel that you have developed some kind of profound expertise in a particular arena, and that you are gaining the historical throughout time wisdom of that particular skill or talent, understanding it in a broader context and seeing the influence that you actually have through your knowledge. In the past, the Six of Wands shows you to be a competent and able community contributor. Whatever the endeavor has been, you have done your task well. It feels as though there's a great sense of measurement here in terms of identifying what you're responsible for and executing that with a good deal of excellence, seriousness, and effort that is recognized by the group, that elevates the group. This could relate to not only a professional activity, but a body of knowledge, which kind of comes through this reading. That you're continuing to contribute from your individual space to a body that is collectively held, a body of knowledge, wisdom. Perhaps it is about traditions and looking at the trajectory of history in some way. In the future, the Seven of Cups is describing a variety of options that are coming before you. And it's interesting because as I look at the Let Go card, I see this idea of holding tightly on to something that has perhaps become burdensome, and the need to release that in order to grasp something that may have more greater personal meaning, but also brings you a personal joy that you have yet to integrate into your efforts. So this is a chance to, it feels like, to be happy, but you have many invitations which you understand are not all equal, not all beneficial. And for some of you, many of these offers were things that you once expected to receive as a result of whatever it is you do. However, now you are receiving many of these benefits, gifts, invitations, but it does not obscure for you the actual goal, the impact that you are making or can potentially make, your influence. You value that as the highest gift you can give. And that influence comes from more than the work you've done. It comes from who you are as a person, how you've been able to integrate what you know into who you are, how you bring who you are to your work, to your effort, to your presentation. That's what makes connection with your clients, your customers, your students, or your audiences in general. If this reading is resonating with you so far, please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot, and I deeply appreciate all the support that I receive from those of you. Even if it feels invisible, I feel it, and it spurs me on. So thank you in advance for that. I'm going to clarify these cards with Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot as a nod to Samhain, Halloween. Samhain in particular is about Celtic New Year, the festival, kind of a harvest festival, the thinning of the veil, as is Halloween in our Western tradition, sort of more symbolically than actually participated in an acknowledgement of harvest time. The Celtic tradition is summer's end. This is correlates with harvest time, which we in the Western world celebrate, some of the Western world, as Thanksgiving. Wherever you are, this is about ease of movement, transition from one world to other worlds. And the blackbirds, crows, ravens all symbolize this easy movement between life and death, or one world and the next. So I'm going to clarify the Six of Wands in the past with the Empress and the Ten of Needles. Interesting. So yeah, there's a huge change from a sense of sadness, dreariness, burden, suffering, pain. Again, here's for at least the third or more time that this idea that you're dragging along something with you, despite a fair amount of external or professional or worldly success, there's a big, heavy chain, ball and chain hooked up to you. This is something that you're choosing, and you're now understanding you have the power to release. This has been eclipsing your power. This may be a responsibility that you have, an obligation to a loved one or to loved ones in general. This may be an illness that has felt as though it has kept you in the past or kept you in some kind of a deficit mode. But you understand that you have all the power. What the world sees is who you are. There is no trickery. There is no deception. You are as powerful as others believe you to be. And you are continuing to cleave this divergence between giving back to the community and speaking your own truth, living your own expression through your efforts. And that's quite a line to toe, because this idea that you are a servant of your community, you serve the collective, you make a contribution to the world, has perhaps in your mind and in the past been about occluding who you are as an individual. There may be a belief that it's bad to stand up and be celebrated as an individual. And that's something that you're understanding is the source of your power. In the present, the High Priestess is clarified by the High Priestess and the Nine of Potions, or the Nine of Cups. Wow, this is absolutely brilliant. This all again comes to this idea that you're positioning yourself as a major influence in your professional field, in your family perhaps. You've come to some clear knowledge about perhaps releasing a weight of inappropriate obligations, at least now. It's not that they were always inappropriate. They represented your effort to try and be responsible, to try to do the right thing. But they were not reciprocated. This was not a partnership or a team that supported your needs in the way that you supported the needs of others. And now that you see that and you feel yourself released by that, you are incredibly content at the effort it took to align yourself with what felt good to you without castigating yourself, feeling bad or guilty about being successful or having options in a way perhaps someone close to you did not seem to, and held you almost hostage, almost like emotional blackmail for being successful. Releasing that has truly made you happy, because whatever it is you do, whatever it is you know, is a deep fulfillment of a mission, of a purpose, among many missions that we can undertake in life. But this is very specific. Your success and your willingness to embrace all of you, to move towards things that support you, that see you, that recognize your value is what gives you a sense of fulfillment in seeing your influence exercised in the world, sought after, recognized, identified. In the future, the Seven of Cups is clarified by the Four of Needles, the Four of Swords, and the Five of Needles. I do see a fair amount of competition in this very successful field that you endeavor in. I do see ways in which you are now able, or in the future, able to review the challenges, the obstacles, the resistance that is now coming to greet you as a welcoming hero. You are striving to recognize that there was a lot about the negative energy, feedback, criticism you received that you had internalized. And that throwing that off, as you throw off these responsibilities, you're releasing the sense about necessarily seeking the approval of others. It isn't that you don't care what others think. I do believe you are deeply engaged in the thoughts of others as well as your own. But you are less, you feel less burdened by the negative feedback you may receive or even caring about it. And this is for you a liberation. This is about removing that self-doubt that may have plagued you along the way. That your happiness is important. That your happiness, your care, your attention to your needs, respect for your own values, respect for your effort is a priority in your life. And this has meant that many of the invitations coming towards you, you eye with suspicion. And perhaps rightfully so, because in the fickle world of external success, those that once dismissed you are the very ones chasing you without any memory of the way that they ignored you in the past. I'm going to finish up this reading, Virgo, with a seed and sickle card. I see something turned up, and I'm going to pull this out, and it is the holly, not the chamomile. Number 47 reduces to number 11, which, depending on what deck you use, is either the success of the Justice card or the Strength card. And I think that you have had a tremendous amount of strength to persevere in your chosen path. That it has been very lonely and you have been betrayed, dismissed, or fought against, resisted in many ways. Like the lightning forks of a holly branch, you stand at a fork in the road, a decision before you. Which path will lead you where you want to go, and which may lead you to an unexpected destination or lead you astray. You're running out of time to make your choice, but know that once you've chosen your path, there's no turning back. Make sure you've thought this through carefully. Oh, no pressure there, Virgo. If you've enjoyed this content, check out more content here, and thank you for your likes and subscribes. Until next time, Virgo, namaste.